What's going on, guys? GameStop, man. I gotta talk to y'all, man. I gotta talk to you because how many more ex-employees are gonna make working at GameStop is terrible fucking videos on YouTube before GameStop? We just no longer fuck with you. Okay? Digital distribution is a big thing. I'm not gonna say it's the biggest thing that would end you, because it's not. You're gonna end yourself. I just myself I'm very conflicted when it comes to GameStop, because on the one hand, I know how you can fix everything and be perfectly fine for the rest of everything, right? Even managing to survive the complete switch over to digital, you could still live. The answer you already have, you're too stubborn to do it, which is the retro market. If your online service was not as shitty as your in-store service, and you turned around and sold those retro games that you're so happy to take, you would be fine. Nobody would say a word about GameStop. But because you are not guaranteed to even get the product you ordered off of GameStop, you're not guaranteed to get it on the time you might even think it's gonna arrive from GameStop, to having to figure out a way to return it where it doesn't cost you money because of whatever it possibly is. They always give you a return slip with it, but you really think GameStop's gonna pay for the shipping back of a console? I'm just saying. The fact that I can't take something I ordered offline into the store that is the same fucking company in which I bought it from, considering not all your distribution centers that answer online are connected to just the company within of itself. No, it's only 100 miles within your radius that you're ordering offline from. So one of the 200 stores within 100 miles of your house are where the product's coming from, and I can't walk into my GameStop by my house after receiving something that it wasn't to get the money back, or to have you fucking next day ship the shit to that fucking store. Creates a pretty big problem, considering how convenient that is. You create your own problems. The reason nobody wants to work for you, GameStop, is because there are literally thousands of videos of people talking about your shitty practices to your employees. Now, that's not to say you're the only one with that problem. Hell, 99.9% of employers don't understand that no matter how good of a product you may have, no matter how much of a demand your product has, if you do not treat your employees the right way, that product is not going to be profitable, because you have no store and no employees to run that bitch to sell your product. That is not just GameStop, that is across the board. They believe the customer is more important than the fucking employee, when if it wasn't for the employee, you wouldn't have a fucking store. You wouldn't have a fucking job. You see what I'm saying? So you need those employees as much as you need those fucking customers. Again, that's not something that's just GameStop. That is across the board and can be well represented in pretty much every aspect of life. Probably even a little bit harder when you go look at like waiting and delivery services. So I get it. All right, you are your own worst nightmare, but you can turn it around. You can turn it around. Take away the bullshit. Just scrape all that bullshit, because it doesn't fucking matter. Okay? Bring back the 10% off used games. Okay? Have the little rewards power up, and that's it. That's it. There is no more extracurricular bullshit. Take Think Geek, make Think Geek its own entity. Let that be that. Take all that shit out and just throw it to the side. Your name is GameStop, not Think Geek. I get Think Geek and GameStop are the same company, but they are two completely different styles of business. And they can both be successful if you separate them and you make Think Geek like GameStop, where there's one pretty much within 25 miles of one's home. I'm telling you, if you do that, you'll be fine. Okay, now how do you save GameStop? Well, the answer has always been the retro market. Something you and your employees don't understand because you hire people who have less knowledge of video games than a newborn baby. But we're not going to focus on that part. We're going to talk about why it is retro can save GameStop. The reason retro can save GameStop is because it's 100% what? Profit. It's all used. There's physicals of everything. GameStop, the reason you don't want to do that is because it creates a little bit more demand from your workers, and it creates just a little bit higher demand of quality and being more of a perfectionist than a slacker. You want to make the most profit for doing the least amount of work, and it shows when you just look at how you behave. You want to do nothing but get paid for it. That's not how that works. Go to the retro market. Bring in all that retro goodness. Okay, bring all of it in. PlayStation doesn't want to sell fucking digital content at your store. That's cool. Sweep PlayStation under the rug. Let them go. You dig what I'm saying? If they want to hurt their own sales, fuck them. Let them go. Okay? But sell the original Xbox, the 360, the PS1, the PS2, the PS3, the Dreamcast, the Genesis, the Saturn, the, what's this one here? The, Master System. You get what I'm saying? Sell all those mini consoles as well, and have everything reasonably priced. Make sure they're what they are, especially when it comes to the Nintendo cartridges. You need to open them up and you need to inspect them, and you need to legitimately put effort into them. That way people can start to trust you with these things. Fix the online service. Fix the fact that it's such a high rate of not even receiving what you asked for. Fix that. Okay? And I'm telling you, if you manage to do that, GameStop, you are going to see a turnaround almost overnight. It's going to be almost a shell shock of how fast it works. Okay, yes, it's going to take a little bit of time to get there, but it's not going to take as much time as you think it will. Okay, because the retro market isn't ever going anywhere. People are always bringing the 80s into the 2019 and so forth, because people are having kids every day. And those systems have withstood the test of time. They've taken the beatings all through the years, and they still work. So people are always handing older systems off to their kids. The kids are becoming very addicted to these consoles and love the way they perform. And there's your new customer. Okay, and I don't mean addicted to it as if it's a drug or a caffeine or shit like that. No, I just mean they like playing on the older stuff. They see where mom and dad started, and they want to do that. So they do. They grab those old machines and they play them, and then, oh, hey, I like this. This is fun. Holy shit, you just got a new customer right there. Now you have a family that's going to GameStop to pick up retro shit because mom and dad used to play it, and the kid wants to play it, and to the kid, it's brand new. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if it's used. It's still brand fucking new to the kid because they've never played it. So you have a huge amount of profit that you can make off of everybody here just because you're selling old games to these families who grew up with games. I grew up with games. If I had a kid, we would only go to the retro store. We wouldn't go to GameStop because GameStop doesn't carry anything but new shit. And I would want my kid to love the Nintendo 64 and the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis and the first PlayStation and the PS2. I would want him to get a love of that so he could see where we came from and how we got to where we are now in 2019 with the Switch. You know, give him some background. Let him know about this shit the right way, like most parents do with their kids anyway, right? At least I hope. So you're sitting on a gold mine. You're sitting on a gold mine, and you're mad because the current generation is starting to use you less and less and less. Who the fuck cares? Well, majority of our customers like Call of Duty, bitch. You're still selling the 360. You're still selling the PS3, and in case you haven't got the memo lately, people are still playing on those systems. So it's not like you're completely avoiding anybody. You're utilizing pretty much the greatest era in gaming all the way up to the 360, which includes the Wii U and the original Wii. Yes, I know Wii U is a here and there, but if it was put in the retro market the right way, people would come around to it like they did the Dreamcast, because if you remember correctly, back when the Dreamcast launched, it was not nearly as successful as the fucking Genesis was. But in 2019, the Dreamcast is a completely different product. So think about that. Just think about it. Get these negative fucking, you know, I get these are stories that are real and these things really happen, but GameStop, you need to fix the image. You need to fix what overall it means to go to GameStop, and I know how to do it. Everybody knows how to do it. Okay, when it's E3, when it's the week of E3, it's like 10 days, you need to be staffed like a motherfucking holiday sale. You need to, because there's new shit being talked about. There's new reservations available. There's all this shit. That's how you keep the new gamers coming back, is you just sell the new ones. You don't worry about the used for the current generation. That's not your, that's the, fuck it, you can sell it, but you don't need to worry about it. You dig what I'm saying? Fuck that. Your profit is made from the 90s now, the late 80s all the way to the early 2000s up to 2010. That is your bread and butter. Okay, that is where you're going to see maximum return. Fuck PlayStation 4, fuck Xbox One, fuck Nintendo Switch. They're not going to bring you the most money back. They're not. You're going to get those people walking in who want the new game. Cool, get their reservation, but here's how you get them to do more. Oh, you want the new Call of Duty? Hey man, you ever played the Call of Duty from like the PS2? I get it's a stupid question to ask somebody who's into Call of Duty, but it's also kind of like a good way to nudge them and be like, hey, we carry PlayStation 2 games. We still have PS3 as well. We still have all those games that you played, you know, and this is just something that tied you over until the game comes out. You get what I'm saying? Because people are going back and they're starting to keep their older game systems. They're starting to rebuy those. That's money, GameStop, you're sitting on. And you can't say you're not, because you have, bring us your retro shit and get credit for the new shit. If you don't turn around and sell those retro games, you don't get no money, because you're just giving people money. You're losing money on the retro market because you're not smart enough to turn around and make the money back. You just bought a Super Nintendo for like $80, right? Just roll with it. I'm not being serious about the price. Just say you bought a Super Nintendo for $80. Okay, what are you going to do with it? Well, we're going to send it back to our distribution center. So the store just lost $80 because you're not smart enough to turn around and sell it for $100 in that same store. Am I the only one who goes, no shit, you're losing money? Am I the only one who thinks, well, if they turned around and sold that bitch, it could make a quick 20 because there's a bunch of people out there who would like to buy the bitch? Am I the only one who thinks that? Possibly so. Anyway, I gotta go.